So this is just a disclaimer. I heard jinxed, hexed, cursed. Hello, beautiful human. Welcome to the Cross Watchers only reading for your Taurus Bae and whatnot, or whatever. I am Princess India, if you're new. And if you're family, welcome back, my friend, and whatnot, or whatever. If you're not familiar with what a Cross Watchers only reading is, it is a reading that I do for people who are dating in a relationship, situationship, or what have you, with a Taurus person. The Ace of Pentacles in the reverse just fell out. Okay. With a Taurus person that you would like to get insight or information on. But I find that, still trying to do my spiel here, but I find through the grapevine being my comments. My subbies have said that this sometimes can be reversed, so it could be flip-flop, the energy can flip-flop, and sometimes it can be about friends or family members or what have you, so get in where you fit in, my friend. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna let that sit there, but I'm gonna go ahead and get into you guys' cards and see what is going on for you all for November 15th. Through December 15th. I don't know why that energy with the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse just feels some type of way to me. The first thing I would want to say about that, because I'm just going to use that as kind of like a sideline energy, but Cross Watchers, what it would look like for me with this is feeling as if you invested into I don't want to necessarily say a dead situation, but it's almost feeling as if you invested into non-fertile ground, if you will. That what it is you invested into this connection with this Taurian person has yet to show any sign of life is literally how I want to say it. I started to say bear fruit, but I don't really feel there's any, you know, signs of life. So let's see where this coincides. First card. Okay. We have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Whew, that's Jupiter energy. We can include fixed sign energy with that too. Because I look at the World card and the Wheel of Fortune being connected. The Wheel of Fortune is more or less like the 3D vibration of what the World card represents. So with our fixed signs, we're talking about Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. Then we have the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. And then we have the Magician. This is interesting. Okay, Cross Watchers. In reference to your Taurus person, it would look like now in the present, so mid-November, things are kind of at a standstill and at a halt. As far as you guys in relation to this connection, it's almost feeling at the will of this situation, if you will. It's feeling very unlucky. All of the things I just heard, but I don't want to take them literally, so this is just a disclaimer. I heard jinxed, hexed, cursed, not necessarily in the literal sense saying that any of that is true, but it's just feeling at the will of the situation, almost as if, I don't want to say taken advantage of, just stuff really isn't going in your favor. It's feeling ultimately blocked, like you can't move forward or things are not falling in your favor at present in reference to this connection or partnership. Now with this Three of Pentacles in the reverse, this kind of says to me more or less that in reference to you and your Taurian, it's almost like things kind of fell off. Am I choking because of all this smoke? Y'all can't see it. I got an incense like right in front of me and I just realized like I just choked a little bit. I might be dying, y'all. Sorry. But anywho, it's almost like things kind of fell off between you two. It's at one point in time, you guys were on the same page. You were headed in the same direction, but it's almost as if the Taurus person stopped investing is what it feels like. So long story short, it's more or less both of you felt at one point in time that you were building towards something, y'all were headed in the same direction, and somehow this kind of stopped. And because that stopped is what leaves you guys in this place at present to where you're feeling kind of unlucky and as if things are not going in your favor. However, with the Magician being here, it's saying going forward that you more or less need to take your power back. I felt this for another sign. I can't remember who it was at present. It wasn't Pisces. I think it was Aquarius Bae. And the cross watcher kind of felt similar to this. Yeah, it was Aquarius. It was more or less like I was saying, putting too much emphasis on this partnership or this person that you're in a partnership with, rather, to where if things aren't working out with this person, it's like all of a sudden you feel like your entire life is like falling apart, or you're unlucky, or being punished or something along those lines. So it's more or less in relation to this connection with this Taurian person. My cross watchers are feeling at the will of life, but it's important moving forward that you guys need to step into your power. In so many words, because this was a challenge, and this has been coming up for a lot of cross watchers this month. It's these relationship challenges, the main purpose of them is to bring something out of you, or to bring something to your attention, or to show you that how or in what ways you're disempowering yourself, rather, in reference to partnerships and connections. Because I feel for a lot of cross watchers, because this has come up in just about every single read, despite what it is that's going on with the cross watchers in whatever sign it is, there's always some hidden nugget of truth specifically for the cross watcher. But it's not just with the particular person that you guys are dealing with now. It's something that habitually happens consistently in your relationships. So more or less for my cross watchers, the whole premise of this was to show you in what ways you are disempowering yourself or not making the most of your opportunities, and how for some time you could have allowed romantic connections to more or less be hiccups in your life, if you will. So for our Taurus Bae, first card we have is the Two of Pentacles. I really think that this freaking incense is causing me to choke. I choked in Aries reading, Lord. We have the Two of Pentacles. Wow. We have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. And then we have the Star in the reverse, and that's Aquarius energy. And I forgot to say with the Magician, that's Aries energy. Wow. Okay. So with your Taurus person, they're more or less holding back. So that makes sense to me how it is. You guys are showing up as this Three of Pentacles in the reverse, and how that led us to this current point. However, the other thing that I'm hearing is this goes back to where stuff kind of started to fall off. This goes back to the end of October. It's like that last week of October, like the week of the Taurus full moon, the blue moon and all that good stuff. But for some of you, with the Taurus person, it's like, well, some of you's Taurus person started holding back, right? Others of you, I feel they got really hyper focused on something. So this could be like work or school, or like a project, or, a goal they have, finance or something along those lines. But I feel for the other group of you, it's like the Taurus person got hella hyper focused. So it could be anything really, but it's almost as if they just kind of disappeared, and them focusing on whatever this is. So what we're talking about between my cross watcher and my Taurus person is more or less at one point in time, it was about you and the person, and then it stopped being about y'all, right? Like the two of you together, and it started being about the Taurus person, whether that is, the first group where it's them distancing themselves just because, or the other group where they're just like focused on like work kind of stuff. But I feel in the present, and this may be because you brought this up to the person, or they notice that you guys are acting kind of different. The Taurus person is kind of torn between two extremes, not really knowing what to do with this. So it's kind of like looking at, hypothetically, if we say their career, right? So they're focused on their career, they care about you, and it's more or less what the cross watcher is asking from the Taurus. It's like, it's not that I don't want to pay attention to you. It's not that I don't care, but it's like, but this, you know, like, but my career, or but this goal, but whatever it is that they're doing, you know? So it's like them kind of going back and forth because they're trying to move forward for themselves. But in order for them to do whatever it is that they're focused on, it's like they can't do both. Let me just say it that way. It's like if they're in a connection with someone, or you guys were dating, whatever it is this Taurus person has going on, at least from their perspective, I can't say that it's 100% true, but it's like from their perspective, it's kind of like they feel it's either you or whatever the other thing is. Now, with this being pentacles, I would have to say this literally probably has something to do with, you know, work or school or money, or, you know, some type of creative project or something like that. Work would probably trump everything else. But it's more or less, I feel that they feel like kind of overburdened and kind of overwhelmed by this, especially with the star in the reverse being here. It's more or less, I feel it's like the Taurus person came into this thinking, oh, I got this. But it's almost like now they're kind of starting to realize they bit off more than they could chew, if that makes sense, you know? Because it's like, it's some sort of pressure with them, like needing to move forward. And I think that even back here, they kind of knew that, but it's more or less like, oh, you know, I got this, I can handle this, like no big deal. You know what I'm saying? And now it's becoming clear, like, oh, so I have to make a decision. So they're just kind of like back and forth, because it's like, I don't want to like not be with the person, but it's like, I really want to do this, but I can't do this and then be with the person type of deal. And I feel with this star in the reverse, it's more or less, this is energy that they're kind of projecting forward into. And I think that's the reason why the Magician came out for you guys, cross watcher. Because the way that it's looking now is this may end up being something where you guys may end up taking a break, or your Taurus person may be like, you know, I need to figure some things out. And I think the reason why this Magician is coming out is more or less telling you guys, like there's a need to step into your power. Because I feel like if you don't, like the way that you guys are feeling coming into the middle of the month, it's like in the event the Taurus person were to say, hey, I really just need to focus on this right now, you know, and we can like pick up later type of deal. I think this is coming almost as like a safety net so that you wouldn't be like full on devastated or nothing like that. The first card we have in the next row that I picked, the next row of three that I picked, pay me no mind. We have the Ace of Cups. Then we have the Five of Pentacles. And then we have the Three of Swords in the reverse. I might be psychic. That's literally what I was just saying. Whew. With the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Swords in the reverse being here, and this kind of starting off with this Ace of Cups, and even taking into account this Ace of Pentacles in the reverse that fell out, and how I was saying cross watchers may be feeling like, you know, they, you know, planted a seed in unfertile ground, and there's like no sign of life yet. I feel that this connection started off with a great deal of promise, right? But I feel the thing that both people really didn't see is you guys were not on the same page. Because I feel for this Taurus person. And I mean, I feel for this cross watcher, and I can totally get that. I'm a Taurus, by the way, a double Taurus. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm seeing here, I understand, you know, it's like, I think from the cross watcher's perspective, it would seem like the Taurus person is hella selfish. I get it. And I mean, in a sense, I just don't really feel like they thought this through. It's like, it's almost as if this connection started with this Taurus person having it very clear on their mind where they were headed and what they were doing, right? But it's almost as if they were so sure of that, that and I said this, similar to this in the Pisces reading where I said something about like, it was like the Pisces person who was like holding back. It was more or less because they were triggered. But with the Taurus person, I just feel like they're very money minded. So if this isn't work related, this could be them trying to buy a car, trying to buy a house, trying to get their life together, period, type of deal. But it's more or less they're holding back because they came into this connection. And I don't even know if they even communicated it to you, but it's like, it's almost as if this person was on a path in life. You guys cross paths. There was a connection and there was potential, but it's kind of like if they're put into a position like they are right now where they have to weigh their options, this person would always choose themselves in so many words. They're always going to choose themselves. They're always going to choose their money. They always going to choose their job type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just like their character. Like that's just inherent to this person. It's nothing personal. But that says to me that even though there was an emotional connection here on my cross watcher's end, it may be feeling like you guys were on the same page and suddenly like you guys were working towards something and then suddenly you weren't. What this looks like to me with this Four of Pentacles in the reverse for your Taurus person, it's almost as if you guys were never on the same page. And I feel that's more of like a subconscious thing. It's like, I don't think the Taurus person came into this with that intention, or that they were just like consciously thinking like, oh, I met this person that's nice, but I'm just about to, date them for a little bit. And then when I realize I can't juggle all of this, I'm just going to be like, well, too bad. Because with the star in the reverse, for me, it's like there's a level of them feeling bad about it. Even with this Two of Pentacles, it's like with them kind of weighing their options, that also says like a sense of like remorse. You know what I mean? Because with the Five of Pentacles being underneath that, it's this thought of like, I have this connection with this person, but knowing that this decision that they have to make could potentially leave you out in the cold. And I think that's why everything's on pause. Because it's like cross watchers are waiting to get some sort of answer to see what's going to happen. The Taurus person is really thinking like, how can I kind of work this out? But still understanding and knowing it's like, I can't not choose my money, career, business, whatever it is that they got going on. I can't not choose that. But it's like, but if I keep going this way, it's like I'm going to disappoint this person. So it's almost like a guilt thing. And something I could tell you too about, sometimes Taurus people do this. It's not like in conflict and not wanting to hurt people's feelings. So it's like sometimes Taurians will just not say anything. You know what I'm saying? Like not going to the extreme of ghosting or nothing like that. It's just kind of like putting it off until you absolutely have to say something. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I don't want to hurt your feelings type of deal. And I feel that's what the whole issue is. But with this Three of Swords in the reverse being here, I feel that's the reason why, again, you guys have this Magician here, because my cross watchers are disempowered and at the will of this Taurian person. And that's really not fair to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair to be in a position like that where how you guys move forward or when you move forward is contingent upon this person's decision, because that means that they're in control of this connection. It's like whether this grows into something or doesn't, it's almost as if the cross watcher is putting this power in the Taurian person's hands. And no offense. First of all, if you a Taurus, you shouldn't be in here anyway, unless you got a Taurus being you a Taurus. I'm just going to say that. But it's like, that's not necessarily the best person to put all the power into their hands, because we will procrastinate. You know what I'm saying? So it's more or less cross watcher. I think it would be clear at this point, especially if you guys have had a conversation. I would hope and pray that this isn't all conjecture and assumption, because that wouldn't be healthy. But I mean, I think like if you had a conversation with this Taurus person and we're like, you need to make a decision on what it is that you're going to do, that's kind of what would be taking so long. Because it's like, this is important to me. Like, my job, whatever it is that they're deciding over, that's important to them. But it's like, I like you, I don't want to hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're kind of stuck there because all of this energy of them not wanting to disappoint you, and especially for it to be the star in the reverse, that lets me know that they do care on some level or another. They do care about you. They do care about the connection. They felt the same potential in it. It's just that I feel like this person is just very money minded or very career minded. Like they're just in this whole little driven grit part of their life. But all in all, it's a sense or a knowledge of knowing that they're going to leave you out in the cold. And I don't want to say that is like that's going to be the indefinite type of thing, but they're aware of that. And I feel the whole reason why stuff hasn't moved forward is because they're very, very confused. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to do that. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to leave you out in the cold. It's a level of disappointment for them too. It's just whatever it is that they're focused on is very important to them. So it's a really difficult position to be in. And I mean, I get that. You know what I'm saying? I totally get it. Of being like, you know, very, not even necessarily a workaholic, but just being very career driven and stuff like that. Because I feel like there's two different types of people in the world. You have some people who value, you know, romantic relationships a great deal. And a lot of their life is oriented around, you know, being married and having babies and, you know, things of the sort. But then you have other people where you're not necessarily against that. It's just that the most important part of your life is your life's work or your career or your education or whatever the case may be. And you have a tendency to value that over like marriage and kids and stuff. And that's really the vibe I get with the cross watcher and the Taurus person. I feel the Taurus person is someone who's very career oriented, very money minded type of deal. And that's where their value lies. And it's almost as if the cross watcher is more, you know, romantic, community, relationship type oriented. You know what I'm saying? And neither one of those are wrong. It's just two different types of people. However, the most important thing for the cross watcher here is to step into your power so that you don't allow yourself to be at the will of not just this Taurus person, but I think anybody. You know what I mean? Whether it's them or it's another person, you don't want to have your entire life kind of in the hands of another person. It's like if they're not paying you attention and you feel like stuff isn't moving forward, this more or less would be saying to me that you need to remember that you have the power and the control to say, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not about to wait for you if you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what it is that I'm feeling here. I feel there's going to be disappointment on both sides in the event. If, you know, you guys were to elect to not move forward with it, I feel the Taurus person would be disappointed in the cross watcher too. It's just as important for the cross watcher person to kind of get back in the driver's seat so that this is something that you guys would be able to move past as opposed to being stuck and kind of like grieving over it, if that's making sense. But anywho, cross watcher, that has been your reading. I'm going over to Vimeo, Patreon, my website, and YouTube members to do you guys extended, where we're going to look at how your Taurus person thinks and feels about you. So at present, so if you're about that life, follow me over there. If not, you still love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. Know what I'm saying? For some people, this is the first time that either the cross watcher or this Taurus person has ever been in a same-sex connection. So it's like, whether it's male or female, it's the first time that they've ever been in a same-sex relationship. For others of you, it's a difference in like race or like class, like socioeconomic status. Like, you know, y'all are from two different worlds or different nationalities or what have you. But there's some vast difference between the two of you. And I think the connection between the two of you was kind of like a pleasant surprise, or, oh, hello. Well, yeah, I did totally say that over on YouTube, did I not? I said that. I was like, one person is very career oriented and the other person is very like romantic, marriage, family kind of oriented. So that's a difference. So I feel like with this person, they've never dated someone like you. It's different. It's a pleasant surprise for them. But at the same time, wow, this is so crazy because this is exactly what I said on YouTube. Oh, why I feel like I'm so invested in y'all relationship right now. Like, Crosswatcher, I don't know who you are. I don't know this Taurus person either. But it's like, I'm slick side, like wanting to be your little cheerleader. Like, I just want them to get their mind right. Like, y'all just need to have like a little epiphany or something, little fellow Taurian.